Well, good morning and welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for joining us, everybody. It is the 29th of October, and we are live here for the Minnesota Real Estate Show every weekend, every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. We're live on Twin Cities News Talk, AM 1130. Show is hosted by Mr. Mike Overson. Mike is with Luminate Home Loans, Luminate Bank. Of course, Scott Wollmering of the WE team, the Minnesota Real Estate team, RE/MAX Advantage Plus, and I'm Ryan O'Neill with the Minnesota Real Estate team, RE/MAX Advantage Plus. Guys, we're going live on air right now. We welcome your questions, comments, thoughts. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. It is the 29th of October, Saturday, October 29th. And this show is live every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. The Minnesota Real Estate Show is hosted by Mike Overson, Luminate Home Loans, Scott Wollmering, and myself, Ryan O'Neill of the Minnesota Real Estate team, RE/MAX Advantage Plus. We do appreciate you joining us. It's going to be a fun show, interactive show. We welcome your questions, comments, thoughts. 612-294-6949, 612-294-6949. Or if you're catching us anywhere on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, you name it, don't hesitate to join us, comment as well. And good to see you guys. Mike, Scott, good morning to you.
Morning to you. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Like Ryan said, this is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We are live and local here in Golden Valley every Saturday from 10 to 11. Love your comments and questions, 612-294-6949. That is how you can either text us or go live on air. Happy pre-Halloween for everybody that's a Halloween fan. Tomorrow's Halloween, and hopefully you and your family get out and have a little bit of fun. And every week now we like to kind of give a fun question out there besides real estate, which we're going to get into here in a little bit. The question for this week is, what is a song that you play over and over and over again? So either your favorite song or just a song that periodically you just put in a loop and just play it over and over again.
It's your go-to.
It's your go-to song.
It's your go-to song. So again, every week we like kind of the fun question of the week before we dive into the market numbers. What is your go-to song that's on a repeat? What might that be? Mike, good morning to you there, young man.
Good morning, Ryan.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Mike Overson, Luminate Home Loans, all finance related questions. Please don't hesitate to chime in with that. Nice to see you, Mike.
Yeah, good to see you. Always good to be here.
What's going on there?
Well, got a lot of kid Halloween parties going on. That whole thing started.
Right.
Last night I was telling Scott there's a drive-through like trick-or-treat deal for kids last night in Burnsville that we went to, and then tonight, one of our good friends here, actually Kaylee Del Terzo, my assistant.
Yeah.
She's having a Halloween party, mainly for kids and stuff over there tonight. So we'll be going over there, and then, it's going to be another one tomorrow night. And then we actually have Halloween coming up too. So it's going to be busy for us, but
kids never come to my house because I give out little packets of salad, little mini salads. So they kind of boycott my house.
Well, at least there's balsamic dressing on it.
That's right.
Or is it on the side?
It's on the side.
Hey, we had a comment, DMX, going to give it to you. That's the song. That's it.
Going to give it to you.
DMX.
That's going to give it to you.
That may again, your fun song, your go-to song, your repeat song. Have to welcome on our friend Mr. Steve Stalock. Steve, kind soul, wonderful friend, great home inspector. Thanks for being here, bud.
It's great to be here. Beautiful sunny day, so we're enjoying life.
Yeah, always a pleasure having Steve with us. We are going to dive in on the first segment here. We talk market update, real estate, mortgage, what's going on. Just to give you kind of a lay of the land. Maybe you're casually following the Minnesota or real estate market. Maybe you are actively buying out there. Maybe you're thinking of selling wherever you might be. We want to provide solid information for you to help you make good decisions. And Mike, let's do, I think the news this year has been interest rates. So let's dive in from your perspective. What are you seeing?
Yeah. So, I mean, here's I don't want to call it a fad, if you will, but here's what's popular now are interest rate buy downs, right? So the biggest hurdle typically for any buyer today is not really the price of the home or anything else. It's, interest rates are higher, pushing our payment up.
Sure.
So how do you address that? So there's a couple of different ways you can do an interest rate buy down to then lower your interest rate, which lowers your payment, which makes that house more affordable. So there's really two main types. There's a permanent buy down, which means that your interest rate is going to be permanently lower throughout the entire term of the loan. Or there's temporary buy downs, which, is the 2-1 buy down. We actually just rolled out a 3-2-1 buy down yesterday that we have. And so what that temporary buy down is let's say that your quote unquote regular rate is 7% today. Well, your first year, your rate would actually be 4%. The second year would be 5%. The third year it'd be 6%. And then year 4 through number 30 would be 7%.
And I would think that the mindset of doing that would be that you can refinance it within a 4-year period. We're not going to still be at 7%.
Right. Yep. Exactly. And so there's two trains of thought. Well, which one's better for me? Which one do I do? Well, if you don't think interest rates are going to go, back down to, let's just say, high 4s to mid 5s, by the end of year number 3, well, then I would do the permanent buy down, right? If you think that interest rates will come down, like we all think they will come down into the high 4s, around 5%, sometime in the next 3 years, well, then I'd do the temporary buy down, right? Because you're going to refinance out of that loan within 3 years, the end of 3 years. So one thing to remember, the temporary buy downs, which is kind of nice. If let's say I just ran an example, it's a $429 purchase price, buyer putting $100,000 down. So the loan amount was $329. The 3-2-1 buy down was going to cost about $15,000 to do. And he was getting $17,000 from the seller to apply however he wanted to. So he's like, okay, I'm going to take this $17,000. I'm going to do this 3-2-1 buy down, right? So he's going to start at 4% on his first year. So let's say 12 months from now, interest rates on a 30-year fixed are down to 4.5, let's say. Well, now he wants to refinance out of his current loan that he's in now and get it in a fixed at 4.5 for the entire term of the loan. Well, he paid the $15,000 to have the lower interest rate for the first 3 years, but he didn't use that. He hasn't saved $15,000 because he didn't keep that loan for 3 years. Anything that he didn't use from that temporary buy down is refunded to him.
I did not know that. Yeah, that is great. That's why people should do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So on the permanent buy down side, there's nothing refunded. It's a permanent buy down. Here's your rate. It's going to be that for the life of the loan. There's no refund of any sort of upfront money that you paid for that. So that's another factor that comes into play. For this particular guy, the 3-2-1 buy down was going to be 4% for the first year, 5% for the second, 6% for the third year, and 7% for the remainder of the loan. Or it could do a permanent buy down, and he would have been at 5.875 on a 30-year fix. So those were his options. He chose to go with the 3-2-1 buy down because he thinks he's going to be refinancing within 3 years.
So again, a lot of comments coming in on social media today. Thank you, everyone. A lot of people have asked how you can make the post shareable. So again, if you just go to the public page for the Minnesota Real Estate Team or the Minnesota Real Estate Show, you can share the stream on there. And then one other note for all of our online folks as well, we cannot see your name on the post unless you've downloaded Restream, the Restream.io app on your desktop there. And so in some cases, we can't see your name. So that's where I'm not sure who said DMX going to give it to you. And they said, play it. The next person said, good morning, all-star crew. And so really, really good stuff. Before the break, I just want to hit, Scott, we'll get your comments here as well. Real estate market, what are the numbers here to share? Interesting numbers, new listings, new homes for sale in the Twin Cities down almost 15%, 1,266 new listings. Pending sales, accepted offers down 37%, 835 pending sales. So very similar to the last few weeks. Inventory, again, still historically low. It increased slightly year over year, 9,071 homes for sale, Scott, we always talk a little bit about perspective with the Minnesota real estate market. The last couple of years has been just an aberration for low interest rates, buyer demand, a frenzied market. Now that we have exited that, where everyone's kind of having to reset their expectations. Buyers, sellers, lenders, realtors, we're getting back to a more normal market. The world is not ending with interest rates in the high 6s or 7s. And Scott, wouldn't you say that is partly our job? Your years, over 20 years of doing this, it's settling back down into a little bit longer market time, 30, 60 days. Average market time, I don't even think is that long right now.
I think it's 32.
Yeah, but and that's hard for people because it happens so fast. I think that's what's making this really hard for everybody.
Well, yeah, and I think when we get back from the break, instead of going through the numbers, we kind of know what the numbers are. It's extremely low inventory, should be a booming market. Because everything happens so quickly, everybody's pushing back.
Sure.
So what we're going to talk about when we get back from the break is, were you better off buying a house at 3.5% back in March, or are you better off buying a house right now? And the numbers might be staggering to you of what the answer is. So were you better off buying at 3.5%, or are you better off buying right now at 7%? When we get back from the break, we're going to talk about that. And again, send in your favorite song that you play on a loop, and let us know what that is.
Mike, do you have one off the top of your head?
Well, yeah. So there's kind of a story that goes along with it. So me and my brother.
Let's hit it after the break.
Okay,
let's
perfect.
hit it after
Gotcha.
the break.
Okay.
Hey, we're up against our first break, the Minnesota Real Estate Show. 612-294-6949 is how you can join us by phone or text. We're live here on Twin Cities News Talk AM 1130 and on social media. We'll be back after the break. Thanks everybody for your comments. If kind of the fun thing is, again, if you just go to Restream and you download that, then we can see your name on it. Allie Walsh commented, thank you, good morning, and thank you for watching. Mike, we did have a question that came in, and Scott, talking about your buy down. This is great. How can a seller advertise this for a stale listing?
That's a great question. Your agent can actually just put it in agent remarks and actually public remarks on MLS, and just state that the seller is willing to. What's a 3-2-1 buy down? About 3%?
I mean,
roughly.
Yeah, it depends on how much the buyer's putting down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it can range from 3% all the way down to one was only like 0.75% because there's a huge down payment stuff. But
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can just advertise it that the seller is offering a 3-2-1 buy down, which you can even put the scenario in there, which means that your first year interest rate would be around 4%, second year would be at 5%, third year would be at 6%. And let the buyers understand it. It's one of the most misunderstood things out there. So it is kind of hard to get it out there so people understand that there are options in this market to make your house payment affordable. And you got a lot of flexibility with sellers right now where they will pay closing costs.
Yeah. So again, just know that if you're offering that, if your seller's paying it, let's say your home is listed for $400,000 and the seller's offering 15 grand or a certain dollar amount for this buy down, that affects, they're no longer offering 400. They're asking 385. So for buyers, they're knowing that that's what the seller's willing to do. So it's a really good idea. We're seeing people do it in the market, but just understand that, again, obviously it affects your seller's bottom line by doing that. But Mike, people are,
I was just going to say, and giving an incentive like that, a lot of times the seller might not even end up having to give it, because if it's priced correctly at 400,000, they're offering that. If it goes into multiples, all bets are off. So so all of a sudden now it's in multiple offers, then that $15,000 disappears. So the seller might still end up getting 400,000 or a little bit more.
Sure. So in other words, it brings buyers to the listing,
buyers to the table,
but doesn't mean absolutely that they're going to pay it.
Yeah, like I'll give an example. I had a house that backed to 35W. We had 160 showings on it. This was back in like 2002 or something like that. We had 160 showings on it. No one would touch it.
Mm.
And so then I increased the buyer agent payout to 4% instead of 2.7.
Okay.
Put it in agent remarks. We had 6 offers in the next week.
Wow.
So it's like no one would touch this house. And then all of a sudden,
Here we go, guys.
okay, yeah,
We're going back live on air.
you know.
Thanks for
agents.
tuning in, everybody. Hope your weekend's going well. What's your song? Yeah, welcome back, everybody. We've got our friend Nick in studio. Thank you to Nick coming in on the weekend, helping us out, producing the show, doing an awesome job. Grateful for him. Mike, we got a lot of questions coming in about your 3-2-1 buy down. Question saying, do I need to specify the lender offering the 3-1 buy downs?
On the MLS
Yeah.
listing, that I don't know. That's a question for you guys. I don't know what the MLS requires.
You don't.
Yeah, I would say it's no. I mean, no, you can't force anyone, obviously, to use a certain type of lender. I think you can mention it back in the bank-owned days. They would say, hey, we really want you to use ABC lender or whoever. But it's your choice as the consumer. Title, mortgage, and real estate. You can't be forced. There's no forcing to use any one of those 3.
No. Now in certain situations, I was thinking back in the days where everybody was hurting back in 2007, 2008. Sometimes you would make it a requirement that your buyer get pre-approved with your lender because you weren't going to go with the offer unless they did. And then of course it's their choice to whether they would do that or not. We would see that a little bit. But anyways, before the break, we were talking about, so were you better off buying a home in March of this year at 3.5%, or are you better off buying a home right now at 7%? So I just did an exercise in the last couple of days where I looked at, I pulled February through March or February through April, and I took split levels between 1985 and 1990 in Lakeville. Average list price was around $375. Average sale price was about $425. Okay. So the average sale price was $425, back in that little 3-month span when we were at about 3%, 3.5%. So then I looked at what a 1985 to 1990 split level right now is going for in Lakeville. And it's about $340,000 to $350,000. So that's a swing of $75,000. The payment difference, depending on what your actual interest rate is, 7.25%, 7, 6 3/4, depending on your credit score, is roughly around $150 to $175. So the point is, you're much better off buying a house right now, because what you were buying back in March was you were buying an interest rate. You weren't buying the value of the home. Right now, so in theory, if you bought a house for $425,000 in Lakeville, right now you unfortunately are upside down about $75,000 from what you would actually purchase it for. Now you've got a nice payment, which is fine if you're going to live there because the market will fluctuate and it'll come back. But right now, you actually are buying a house at what the value actually is. And so you're not losing equity. Your payment is very much different. And so if we think what's going to happen in a couple of years here or a year where interest rates are going to go down, now you have a house that you've actually bought at value that then you can refinance that. So you're in much better shape than someone that got a 3% interest rate in March.
One comment, maybe Mike and Steve and Scott, you can comment on this. I think what's hard is the human reaction when things are unsure, when things are kind of scary, is we settle back. We don't buy. We don't take action. Back in 2005, 6, and 7, the market was really overheating. Okay, and I'm a good example. As a real estate investor, I bought a lot of real estate at that time. Really, the worst time historically in the last 30 years to buy real estate. And what's interesting again is when the markets are kind of scary, like Halloween, is really the best time to actually purchase.
That's right.
Again, you look at like the stock market when Adam Hartung's been on and he talks about it's down 25%. Well, nobody wants to do anything right now, even though it's really the best time to do it. And so it's just interesting how our brains work. And I'm guilty of it as well. I mean, again, I bought at historically the worst time. Now, thankfully, with the Twin Cities, values have come back and then some. Even with me buying at a historically bad time. But guys, there's something about that human condition, that when it's scary because it is. Rates have doubled and people are freaked out about that.
It is. And I remember back in 2008, 2009, 2010, we'd lost 48% of the values, since 2006. And we were screaming on this show. If you have the financial ability, if you're liquid, buy everything you can possibly buy. But people are like, well, no, it's a bad market. Well, no, it's a bad market to sell. It's not a bad market to buy. And I had some very, very astute investors that should know that, where, like, I've given this example a dozen times. I sold one of my investors 12 townhomes in Apple Valley at $45,000. They were all bank owned at $45,000. The next group came out, there was like another 12, and they were at $55,000. And my investor's like, well, no, I don't want to pay $55,000. And I'm like, are you nuts?
Yeah.
Buy all of them. And now they're back to a value of about $240,000. So of course you should have bought everything, but it is human nature. Hey, maybe this won't come back. Maybe this is the values that it's going to be. That's kind of where your brain gets, even though of course that doesn't make any sense, but that's how you kind of get into that mindset.
Mike, one other thing to comment on that I think is interesting, that when people look at the market crashing, are we going to crash? The interesting thing is when you look at the generational buyers and the average, guess what the average age is for a first-time home buyer in the United States?
32.
Yeah, I was going to say young 30s, 31.
You're right. It's actually 32.
32.
Look at that.
So the interesting thing about it, and again, if you look at this, who's our pool of potential buyers? In other words, from a crash standpoint, a demand standpoint, right now with that millennial generation, we have the highest number of people in that bucket in like the last 50 or 60 years. So I think the interesting thing as we move forward with this, and why I'm not freaking out or not lacking confidence in our market, is because that, like you said, with that buyer pool, there's so many people there right now that are in there, Mike. It's just that the rates have risen so fast, so quickly.
The buyers are definitely there. The people that are waiting for interest rates to come down are going to realize that they made a mistake at that point, because everyone else is going to jump back into the pool. And
In the spring,
and now you're back to multiple offers, paying more than list price. I can't get an inspection done. The seller won't pay any of my closing costs. You're putting yourself you're back in that game again. You know what I mean? So that, last week we spoke about, if you look back 12 months and if you look forward 12 months, that 24-month period, your best time to buy a house is going to be in the next 3 months.
That's right. It is. And it's frustrating because it has really just dried up, because people, like Ryan said, it's happened so quickly that people are freaked out. And if you think about it intelligently, you would think, well, no, I should not buy right now because interest rates went to 7%. So that wouldn't make any sense. But when you back out and you actually look at the numbers, again, that $75,000 difference between March and April and now, it is by far a better time to buy right now. And then just do a 3-2-1 buy down, float, wait for the rate to come down. Now you've actually bought a house not at 425, you bought it at 350, and so you're in great shape. Rates come down, you refinance, your payment's still way better, and you actually have equity in your home.
Right.
It's hard for people to understand too, for maybe any agents watching or anyone that's newer to the industry. The adjustable rate mortgage over the years was very, very common. I mean, I got a number of them personally.
I've never done a 30-year fixed.
Yeah, I mean, so I think what's happened the last 5 years, 7 years, everybody, it's always, you got to do a 30-year, rates are historically low. And it's hard. I mean, again, I understand. I mean, it's hard. And I think part of it is with the numbers we're seeing that things have slowed down. And we'll invite Steve on for our discussion too. It's not surprising. Because again, when it's scary with Halloween, when it's scary, you pull back.
That's right.
You're like, whoa, what is going on? I'm freaked out.
Well, and especially the millennials you were just talking about at 32.
Yeah.
They still have their parents in their ear. And parents, again,
You're a parent.
I'm a parent without actually knowing the reality of it. you would just say, well, my gosh, do not buy right now. Rates just went from 3% to 7%. That would be a horrible time to buy. I think we've proven that it's the opposite. But you do have parents in your ear. The other thing with the millennials that is the reason that a lot of them rent is that they were in their late teens, early 20s when their parents lost their house in the
Sure.
crash.
Sure.
And so they don't look at it as an investment. They look at it as a risk. And so they're risk averse. So a lot of them do decide to rent. And so what's your favorite song? Let's do a little positive thing. What's your favorite song?
I know, let's have a little fun.
that you play on a loop?
Hey, we did say before the show, and not just because we're glass as half full people, but we do want our show to be a continual source of real world what's going on with the real estate market, but not the end of the world. It's so much of what we're seeing with the headlines and social media.
On Facebook.
It's just the end of the world for the real estate market.
Oh, every time I pull up Facebook, I want to get in a warm bath with a razor blade. It's just miserable.
We are up against a break. We'll do more songs. Hey, the question of the day was your song. What is your go-to song that you've got on repeat? Mike, let's hit it before the break. We got to hit yours.
All right, real quick. So my brother-in-law and I have a quasi little band going, right? There's 4 of us in there. He's got a studio set up in his house and all this stuff. So I'm the singer, and so he's like, here's the songs here's the songs you have to learn. And so one of the songs I learned, I'm sure Scott will like this, is David Allan Coe, The Ride. Right?
David Allan Coe, The Ride.
The Ride. Go listen to it. It's a really good song, actually. I never heard it before until he told me I got to learn this thing because that's one of the ones we're going to do. And so I just had it on a loop in my car, driving everywhere because I got to learn the words and the melody and all that stuff. And so that's my loop song right now.
David Allan Coe, The Ride.
David Allan Coe,
Yeah.
The Ride.
Interesting. Well, we have
Nice.
to hear that after the break. Hey, we got another one. The Rolling Stones, Beast of Burden. Ooh.
I'm not a Rolling Stone guy.
That's cool. Thanks for your comment. Hey, we're at a break. We'll be back. Thanks for joining us. Rolling Stones, Beast of Burden. I like the Stones. That's cool. That's very cool. Had another comment, Mike. I'm only asking because I don't know some lending companies that do not offer 3-1 buy down or even a 21 or a 2-1 buy down.
A lot of companies don't. Most
Okay.
companies don't have a 3-2-1 buy down. We rolled it out on Friday, so I mean we definitely have it. There's going to be a few others that have it. Some don't do any temporary buy down stuff,
Yeah.
so they don't even offer it.
They
So,
don't offer it,
Yeah, a lot
but
of
you
companies
offer
don't.
it.
Yep.
Well, that's nice.
So we have a 1-0 buy down.
Yeah.
We have a 2-1 buy down, and then we also have a 3-2-1 buy down. So you kind of pick your.
One of the many reasons we work with Mr. Mike, not just for his chiseled body and good looks on Facebook Live, do we bring him in, right, Mike?
Yeah, and my good singing voice.
Yeah, a good singer.
Yeah,
Steve,
yeah.
Staylock, man, thanks for being here, bud.
Hey, it's my time.
Yeah, it is your time. What do you think of all this? Do you have your one go-to song, Steve?
I have a couple because I'm an Eagles fan.
Ooh, Eagles.
So I will switch between Take It to the Limit and Take It Easy. So I don't know which one to be. I just kind of go.
Take it to the limit and
Yeah,
take it easy.
2 great songs.
That's really good. We had another commenter on Facebook says, good morning. My current favorite song is All Joy, No Stress by Rhett Walker. A totally upbeat song. That's cool.
All joy, no stress. See, I'm so horrible with the names of songs. I mean, when they play, I know them.
Yeah.
But I have a hard time remembering the name and what the actual song is.
Yeah, it is. It is good. 612-294-6949 is how you can join us. Thanks for so many people tuning in, watching, wherever you might see us on social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And again, I know I mentioned before, but if you download the Restream app, if you're on Facebook, then we can see your name. Otherwise, we can't see your name. So if we don't reference your name, that's what's going on there. But what do you guys see moving? Mark DePonte, fellow agent, awesome agent. He says, turn the page, Bob Seger. I like that one.
That's a good one.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's kind of pensive. It's kind of thinking,
Eerie.
Yeah.
Kind of has that vibe.
I'd like to see him in concert. Is Bob Seger. Bob's still living?
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
It's never good if someone has to ask that question.
Well, Jerry Lee Lewis.
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Jerry
Yes,
Lee
just
Lewis
passed
just
away.
died.
That was so sad.
87.
Yeah.
I mean, think of that. He, the founder of, Mark says he is still living. Yeah. He says he knows him personally.
Does
No,
he
I'm just
really?
kidding. Guys, what do we think moving forward here? Steve, I know you mentioned your business very slow the past couple weeks.
I would say my business is very tied to pending sales, and it definitely reflects what you said. It's down, 30%?
37%.
Yeah, I reflect that very much.
Yeah.
Although I do get different types of inspection requests away from transactions and trying to get that going, but still I'm very tied to transactions.
The interesting thing too, guys, is I was looking at some reports as far as what they're predicting for total transaction counts. And we have to remember during the pandemic, it was such a crazy amount of transactions that was just, it spiked when you look at the number of national real estate transactions. So again, it's now going back to pre-pandemic levels. That's hard for all of us, but it seems like that's what's happening, guys.
Yeah, it's it is. This is such a hard. It's a hard kind of gap to predict because normally when you get a change in the market, you can say, okay, we're going to feel the effects for a couple months because it's a gradual change and people shift a little bit.
Yeah.
This was such a major change, and again so quickly that it's hard to predict. Is this going to be 3 months? Is this going to be 6 months? Is this going to run into next year? I continue to look at the inventory levels.
Here we go. Hey, welcome back to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Hope your weekend is going well. Hope you're having some fun preparing for Halloween. It is it's the big Halloween weekend. Lots of parties, lots of costumes going on. No costumes in studio today, guys.
I got one in my truck.
You do, Mike?
I wasn't sure if I should wear it or not.
You do not, do
I
you?
do. Yeah.
I know you. Mike is just like,
I actually got two. I can bring them up here, and I got one for Scott. Got one for me.
Yeah, I'm sure it would fit me.
song of the week, Scott.
Well, Steve Stalock, you just told yours off air. What are your songs? You had two of them.
I'm a big Eagles fan, so I like Take It to the Limit and Take It Easy, and I just kind of hover between those two states of mind.
Take it to the limit and take it easy.
Very good.
Very good.
Mine is it's a little unusual. So there's a song, Where Out There, what is it?
Oh brother, where
Brother,
art thou?
Where Out Thou?
Is the
And there's a song that is it's I am a man of sorrow,
constant sorrow.
constant sorrow. I am a man of constant sorrow, played by the soggy bottom boys, and George Clooney. George Clooney sings it, and trust me, it's one that you want to Google. I am a man of constant sorrow. It is the catchiest tune. You'll play it like every 6 months. I'll play it like 40 times in like 2 days. And if you Google it, there's the actual song. There's clips from the movie, where they sing it a couple different times, and so it's funny, but it's a really catchy song.
Yeah, it is. I am a man of constant sorrow, or oh brother, where art thou? If you pull it up on iHeart, on YouTube. Interesting. I received another text. Kevin Curtis, awesome agent, said he likes Duran Duran, the song "Come Undone."
Huh. I like Duran Duran.
That's kind of pensive, Steve. Right?
I'm gonna have to go listen to the song.
Am I
I'm
the only
not
one in the
familiar.
room that doesn't know what pensive means?
I don't know. That's what I was going to ask. I thought you were going to say,
It means
what's
you're
pensive
thinking.
mean?
It means you're thinking. You're reflective. You are. You're kind of analyzing. It's kind of like the market. Hey, it's been so busy, and now, my gosh, I don't have 15 people calling me to look at homes. I don't have 8 new listings today.
It's
I'm
very pensive.
Thinking. Yeah, pensive. You like that?
I'm going to use it. I'm going to put that in my repertoire.
Fleetwood Mac, Go Your Own Way. That's a good one. Fleetwood Mac. Another one, Queensryche, Silent Lucidity. Awesome lyrics, Bill Ebert. Bill, thank you. That's Bill's a great agent. Very cool. I like that one. Steve, again, we were talking a little bit. Again, you noticed your business, same thing, down 37%. I mean, similar to the market you're finding.
Yeah, definitely. As we always, over the last 20 years that I've been in business, as we approach the winter time, coming into Thanksgiving time, it slows down naturally. But I have definitely seen in the last couple of weeks, it's slower than normal for an October. So yes, the phone calls definitely reflect the decrease. I think you said 30-some%.
37%.
Yeah, in pending sales. So yeah, my business reflects that.
Guys, guess what the median sales price in the Twin Cities is right now?
Oh, I would say we are probably, what's the gap? Like the last 2 months they did, or is it like the last
It's
30
through
days?
September
It's through
of
September.
2022.
So I would say we probably dropped back into the 350 range.
Okay, Steve, what number you got?
347.95.
Mike?
I was gonna go 349.
362,000.
Okay, so it dropped from it was 389, I think, right?
Yeah, so back in May it was 375, and then in June it went to 380, and then it's gone down 375 down to 369.9 down to 362.050. So again, this time of year, less competition, more time to view homes, more time to hire someone like Steve Stalock to do a home inspection, more time to negotiate, more time to eat your lunch before you write an offer. You know what I mean?
I mean,
So it's really not a bad time to buy a home.
for a buyer, everything is better right now. Everything is better right now for you. The only thing that's worse are interest rates, and we have a solution for that.
That's right.
So it's like, I know we kind of feel like we're beating people over the head with it, but it's the truth.
Well, it's frustrating. It's frustrating because we try to get the word out, for right now through the end of December, early January is the best time to buy probably in the last 2 years. And everybody thinks it's the worst time because of interest rates. And what's going to happen is we're going to run into spring. We're going to have, 7,000 homes on the market again. I don't care what the interest rates are at. And you're going to have everything blow up again. And everyone that's buying then is going to look and go, why didn't I do this back in October, November, and December when I could go in, negotiate, get terms, get a house, get it at value. So it is. I mean, we do what we can. We've run into this in different markets. You can only scream from the rooftops, a certain amount to get people to understand it. But it really is the best time.
You said inventory's up around 9,000. I mean, it had been down around 4.
It was at 4,500 back in like February, March, something like that. And then we were saying you could kind of see the increase that we were probably going to hit 10,000 by the end of the year. I don't think we're going to get there because I think we're at around 8,900 or.
Yeah, and Scott, the inventory wasn't even that high. So I mean, it's this whole year, it's just been still very, very low here in 2022. If you look at, like, on my screen, I can see a bar graph that just shows since 2006, and it's still just at the lowest level since their numbers here in 2006.
Ryan, when's the last time it shows we hit roughly 10,000 listings?
10,000 listings was back in it looks like early 2020 is when we were at 10,000 listings.
We actually did hit 10 then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very close to then. And so that's where, again, a lot of us as agents are seeing we have a lot of buyers with saved searches on listings. And Scott, I should say, and we should comment on, as sellers, have your agent drill down and do a really good market analysis right now. Maybe do a broker open, with our team. We're a great, a group of agents that will advise, give feedback, strategize, staging, cleaning, pricing, different things you have to do, because there are some listings, to the Facebook comment, that are stale, that aren't selling. And that's frustrating for the agent, but it's also a time to kind of drill down, do another market analysis, take a look and see what's going on in this neighborhood. Where are things at?
Yeah, well, it's people hanging on to, it's sellers hanging on to a number that they saw sell in their neighborhood, and they said, well, no. Jimmy across the street sold for 4 1/4, and and of course that was back in May, April, whatever. But it's it's within 4 or 5 months. That's typically when you do a market analysis.
Sure.
Now you have to do it within 30 days.
Yeah.
So if Jimmy's house sold for 4 1/4, but everything you're competing against is 350, guess what? You're not getting 4 1/4. So if you go on there, you are going to sit. You're not going to sell, and that's unfortunately what sellers are doing. And unfortunately, there's a lot of agents out there that, I don't want to say don't have the what to tell them, but sometimes you have to say no. Let's look at this logically. If you're a buyer right now, and here's our 6 homes we're competing against, and they're 340 to 360, what magic dust is on your house that's going to make somebody pay 4 1/4 for it?
Yeah.
And the answer is there's nothing. And so you have to be realistic.
Yeah, it's hard. We are seeing actually contingent offers coming out again. In other words, people, if you have your house to sell, that you say, you know what, we're going to write an offer contingent on selling, on the sale of our house. We're seeing more of that. The other thing too, driving into the studio, guys, I was talking to Heidi Huseth, awesome agent on the Minnesota real estate team. She is listing a home this weekend, and the seller was really exploring the guaranteed offer on it. And the value Heidi came in at was about 4 1/4, and the guaranteed offer companies was about 350 plus fees.
I was going to say 350 is higher than I would have thought it would have been.
How is that good for anyone?
It's
Well,
not.
the
it's
350 plus fees.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
no, literally, that was what the guy got. She was sitting there with them and did the numbers.
Yeah, I would have said 320. So the fact that it's 350 in fees, I would think somewhere is going to be right down around that number. Because they typically look at a 25 to 30% net.
Right.
So anyway,
It's crazy.
don't do it. Don't do it.
Hey, Steve, are you seeing any? We talked about this before. Any pre-inspections with kind of the market change? Any sellers that are or agents that are pushing pre-inspections?
I have not seen that as a trend, no.
Okay.
We should.
Should push it, but it's been a tough thing to ask the sellers to be doing all this extra work,
Yeah.
paint your walls, stage everything. Oh, by the way, spend the money on an inspection to find out what's wrong with your house so you can do more repairs. That's a tough sell.
Hey,
I understand it.
We're at the final break here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. It's gone by really quickly. Thanks for so many people watching online too, social media, wherever you might be catching us. What's your song? What's your go-to song on repeat that you have? Don't hesitate to call us or text us 612-294-6949. Hey, thank you, everybody. Hope the weekend's going well. It's Halloween time. We have some comments. People want to see Mike in his costumes. Mike, they want to see you in your costumes. Maybe he can run downstairs quick to the
Right.
parking garage.
Right?
You can do it, dude.
It's nothing fancy. I got a gorilla, like a full-on gorilla, though. Full body. It's got the feet. It's got the head. It's got it's full-on gorilla. And then I also have I got the classic Scream mask, with just all black.
I was telling Ryan, I'm not really a Halloween guy anymore, but back in my mid-20s, I really was, and I used to throw big Halloween parties. And one year, I went to the dentist and had him make vampire teeth that were actually attached to your teeth.
Sweet.
And then I went to the optometrist and had him do black contacts. And then I went to a costume shop in Minneapolis that actually did, the actual, makeup that you would have, like if you're going into a movie, and kind of made this kind of goth, weird, whatever, stuff on your face that was all gel, but it looked super
Money.
real. It was fun. It was like, I remember it was like $500 to do,
Holy crap.
to do all of it. But yeah,
But worth it.
yeah. Now I don't. I turn my lights off anyway. I don't even end up.
And another favorite song, Metallica, Enter Sandman.
That's a good song.
Stadium anthem.
That is a stadium anthem. By the way, what is the school? Have you ever looked on Twitter on that? What is the school that does that? The whole it's somewhere on the East Coast.
It's down south.
Yeah, it's South Carolina
Oh,
or
it's
something.
Tennessee.
It's super crazy. The whole
Tennessee?
stadium is bouncing to the song
Huh.
when they come in. It's pretty powerful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've
Um,
seen it, but I can't remember the school.
What other favorite songs are we
Which amazes
seeing?
me that that stadium hasn't come down.
That's
I
right.
mean, I'm pretty sure it's Tennessee, and that stadium holds a little over 100,000 people.
Have you ever been to Camp Randall when they play Jump
Yeah.
Around?
You feel it.
Oh my goodness.
You can feel it in the
Yeah.
parking lot. You
Yeah.
can feel the
You can-
vibrations. I'm
That
just like,
I'm amazed the stadium stays up.
We see, let's see, what is, seeing a couple more other songs come in. Jeff Buckley, Hallelujah.
Oh yeah.
That's a nice one. Scott, that's kind of your jam, kind of pensive.
That's very pensive.
very good.
Let's see, anything else? If you've got any other questions, comments, thoughts about the market, Mike talked a little bit about this 3-2-1 buy down, a nice way to take advantage of lower rates, get in now or take advantage of some lower prices, less buyer demand. Not a bad option, Mike.
Not a bad option. You know, and it's easy for agents. It's easy for basically buyers to sell to everyone, because you just ask for a group of seller concessions, right? Here's the amount of money, Mr. Seller, that we want back from you to help pay for X. And then you get to decide where you put that money. Do you pay closing costs? Do you do a rate buy down with it? Do you pay this with it? So, it's really negotiating what that number that you can get back from the seller, and then you apply it,
Here we
apply it
go.
how you want to.
Hey, welcome back to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for tuning in and hope your weekend is going well. Happy early Halloween to everyone. The market here in the Twin Cities is no longer overheating. During COVID, the market super overheating, low rates, tons of buyer demand, rising prices, multiple offers. Now that is over, we are settling down into a little bit more of a historically normal market. We're talking songs today. Had another one, a favorite song that's on replay. The song "You've Got to Stand for Something."
Huh? By who?
It doesn't say.
No, by who?
Good morning. You've got to stand. Another person says, "Great worksheet that you sent, Mike." You sent some kind of worksheet about 3-2-1 buy downs, maybe, or finance products.
I'm trying to think what worksheet I sent out. I think I sent out a flyer with some examples of what the savings looks like and things like that. I know I sent one out before of doing a price reduction versus taking that same amount of money and buying your rate down, and how much that saves you per month and over the life of the loan. So that's kind of eye opening there too. It's like, oh hey, I can get this house for $10,000 on our list price. But what happens if I just offered list price and grab that same $10,000 from the seller and use it to buy your rate down? Well, the monthly savings on $10,000, if you get a price reduction, is only about $60 a month. If you use it to buy your rate down, you're going to save about $180 a month.
Yeah.
So you 3 to 4 times the effect of that same amount of money by applying it towards a rate buy down versus just a price reduction.
And another comment, "Get Low" by Little John. Do you know that one?
I don't know that one.
Get Low. There's some good ones coming in.
What's yours?
I'm thinking. I know we're running out of time. It's hard being a kind of a music person. I have a lot of them.
I'm guessing Ryan's is Tiny Tim, Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
I love that. I love that song. When I was a little kid, I used to listen to that all the time.
You know what? I am a big soundtrack person. I like soundtracks. Maybe I'm saying the word pensive because I am I love all kinds of music, but I love, for example, the Forrest Gump soundtrack.
Yeah,
I really love I love the Shawshank Redemption soundtrack. Those I can just have on repeat.
Another song just came to my mind when you said that is the Curious George. You ever the Curious George soundtrack?
Nope.
It's a great song. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a great song.
Had one that says Thomas said Dire Straits, Walk of Life.
Oh, that's a good song.
Another person says Aaron Tippin, country song. Listen to it. Oh, that's the one. You've got to stand for something. As Aaron Tippin. It's a country song. Had another one. Linkin Park. The song One More Light. That's a good one. That is the Indigo Girls. Closer to Fine.
That's a good song. I like the Indigo.
Steve,
Girls.
save us here. Steve's like, are you guys gonna
I'm
talk to
letting you
me?
dig your hole here.
Steve, what do you think? I like Scott's idea, though, of the seller pre-inspection. It's a good way for sellers. Again, you may not be aware of some of the things going on with your home. The idea is you hire Steve to come out prior to listing, do a nice home inspection, you provide the report. Great idea.
Yeah, that's a proven fact that homeowners are really the last to know some of the things that are really consequential that are going on in their own home.
Right.
You know, they don't crawl through their own attic. They aren't going on the roof, that kind of stuff. And, you know, when you put your house on the market and you don't know these things and all of a sudden it's like, oh, we have an issue that I didn't even know about. You know, if you knew about it in advance, you absolutely would have taken care of it and it wouldn't come up at the time you're negotiating a sale. So
Well, and
I
that's
think it's a smart thing.
Don't mean to interrupt you, but that's the point of it. Is it eliminates another round of negotiation,
Yeah.
and it eliminates the buyer perspective of what things are going to cost. And so if it's got I don't know, it's got roof damage, or it's got a sliding door that is starting to get to its last legs, or some of the windows have little peeling areas on it that you can just correct and not have people think you have to replace all the windows. It takes out that buyer thought of, well, this is going to cost me $15,000, when in reality it only is going to cost $1,500.
Right.
Well, and again, if you think about it, as a buyer, it's hard a lot of times because as buyers, maybe you're a first-time home buyer, you think the sellers know everything about the home. Oh my gosh, the basement flooded 2 weeks after closing. The sellers had to know something.
Yeah.
And that the reality of it is a lot of sellers, they're not maybe in tune with all the aspects of they're not dialed in. I know Charles Thayer over the years would always talk about, with what his company does with All Around, how, his experience is that people just, a lot of times they're not aware of
They
stuff.
just
Steve.
don't know. I've said a lot of times in many shows, just walk around your own house critically and take a sharp look at things, and you'd be amazed sometimes at the things you see.
The Zach Brown Band, Colder Weather.
Oh, that's a good song.
That is a good Zach Brown band. Super solid. How about this one? Meatloaf, Paradise by the Dashboard Light.
Yes,
Well, there's
that's
a Rocky-
That is a classic.
That's a great song.
That's probably my brother Tom's. Tom was a big Meatloaf fan. We had another one, Bruce Hornsby, The Way It Is.
Mhm.
It's a good song.
He's a good piano player.
Yeah, he is a good one.
Hey, speaking of piano, not to interrupt, speaking of piano players, when is you and your brother's concert?
The O'Neill brothers are getting together. We're reuniting. We're bringing the band back together. Actually, you know what? In December, I think it's
17th and 18th.
Yeah, it's a Friday and Saturday. We are doing a fun little show. We're bringing some artists together. We're actually, it is for all monies raised are a foundation, kind of a family deal. It's just called the O'Neill Foundation of Hope. So all the monies raised, ticket sales, everything is going towards that foundation, which helps a variety of individuals, people in need, going through a difficult time in life, whether it's housing needs, medical needs, any type of support. So anyway, the concert's fun. We sing and play on two pianos. We bring on artists.
And where's it at?
It's in Bloomington, the Masonic Home, Masonic Performing Arts Center. We should bring you up on stage.
Oh
too.
yeah. I'm very
He
musical.
can play the kazoo.
I mean, I get booed off stage at a karaoke thing. Trust me.
We could do it though. I'll talk to Tim. We could hook you up. We could bring you in.
Scott's the hype man. You know what I mean? Kid Rock had Joe C. Joe C. was this hype man that was on stage, and it's saying he just got the crowd into it. I think that's what Scott
I
does.
thought you said the height.
Oh no,
The height man.
no, the hype.
Hype man.
Yeah,
Okay.
He gets the crowd into it. He's getting them going.
I could definitely. I'll tell a quick story. So when Ryan first got in the business, he had joined our team, so we worked together. And he's a modest guy, so he never, he just said, "Hey, you should come and listen to my brother and I play piano downtown." And I said, I was thinking it was like at a peanut bar, or something like that. And so I said, "Oh, that's good." So he gave me the address. So we go to a football game and we had a few beverages.
A few adult beverages.
A few adult beverages at the football game. So we go to the address and it's at the Orpheum. And there's spotlights with him and his brother playing in the White House, for the president. And I'm dressed with a hat on backwards and a Viking shirt on. Everybody's in tuxedos. And so we go in, and Ryan and his brother, they're talking, playing back and forth. And I get up and I'm like, Ryan, you rock! And his brother goes, oh, that must be one of your college buddies.
True story.
That's the truth.
Totally true. I still remember it like it was yesterday. Hey, it's been a fun show. I do have to hit. Fong Ko has a listing. Fong's got one in Blaine, 9141 Alamo Street in Blaine, $395, 4-bed, 2-bath, 3-car attached garage home. It's a 3-level split built in 2000. Beautifully maintained home. It's a quiet neighborhood. It's got newer flooring in 2021. Most of the home is painted just a few years ago. A ton of great updates on that. 9141 Alamo Street Northeast in Blaine. Great show, guys. Last thought, Scott?
I am a man of constant sorrow. Download it. Trust me, it's addicting. You'll love the song. Steve?
Happy Halloween, everyone. Be safe.
Steve Stalock. Go to mnrealestateshow.com. Go to Home Inspectors. And he is, as he says, the
I am that handsome bald guy. Look for Uncle Fester. That's my Halloween.
handsome bug guy. Great job, young man. Mike, last thoughts?
It's enjoy Halloween, enjoy the nice weather. Might be one of the warmer Halloweens we've had in a while.
Yes.
So that'll be good. And we're a resource. Reach out to us.
Yeah, applywithmike.com. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Fun show. Lots of great songs. Hope everybody has an awesome Halloween. We're here to help you, the Minnesota Real Estate Team, however we can. Please don't ever hesitate to reach out. Take care. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. A lot of folks today, a lot of great topics. Scott, great topic, buddy.
Yeah, that was fun. Thanks for everybody's input.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. We'll be back next weekend. I hope this was helpful to you, fun, and hope you have a good weekend. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.